Also back with Gwinnett Lawns in beautiful, we'll take it, Atlanta, Georgia. Today is January the 5th, 2024. Almost said 2023. So I am working on the Echo blower. The blower has about 463 hours or so. And let me show you the problem, and then we'll discuss the steps to take to try to diagnose and find out how to repair it. Alright, so as you can see, the kill switch is not functioning. So if you have a blower that does this and you have a, well, pretty much I believe all blowers right now, they should have a manual choke. That's what I did on this blower. I just choked it and it cut off. If you didn't have that, well, you'd have to pull the spark plug wire off, but it's very easy to do the manual choke trick. All right, so I haven't diagnosed this yet, but I do know that this is a multi-function switch. These two detents here and there are basically the cruise control. And then right here, that is the off position. So the very first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the blower, I'm gonna pull it down so it's easier to start. But if this switch is possibly bad, right? If I put it in the off position and it still starts, which I haven't tried yet, we'll see what happens. Okay, so what is that telling us? Is the switch bad? Maybe, maybe not. Let me pull the blower back up here. So before I go ripping into this switch right here, all right, I want to look at where the wires come out, which it may be a little hard to see here, but the wires come from the handle and they come right here. Now, I want you to notice, if you can see, there's a little bit of copper showing right here. That is because this has been rubbing against this this wire clamp, and also this piece of rubber here that covers the fuel hoses have been rubbing right here just a little bit. Now, that's not going to cause the switch to fail. If we had a problem where this wouldn't start and one of these wires was grounding out against something, that would cause it to not start. But what's going to cause it to not shut off? In this instance, we know that the wires, there's nothing unplugged, and what I'm going to probably guess is that this combination switch has gone bad. The obvious thing, or the easiest thing to check first, obviously, is the wires themselves, but the connections are still good and it runs, so we know it's not grounding out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bits and I'm going to loosen this, take this off, and I'm going to inspect the switch in there. So I'm going to take some off. Now, seal, well, the difference work. Basically the same principle as the iPhone finger control machine. And so, I don't know if these are different, but so far so good, the same. Well, gravity wins every time. Alright, so these are output very gently. So this one is different. It's longer and has a flat head. I'm going to take this off the clamp for the tube. Okay, that's probably what's holding the base. what do you do? Just take your time, look. You want to see this separation line on this? Handle goes all the way around. So there we've got our handle assembly. Okay, so that's what it was. All right, so there's really nothing on this side. We see our throttle cable and this right here. All right, so I put the switch back here so that it wouldn't move around. And I just got a typical electric meter and I've turned it to ohms. Now what we're gonna do, and the way that you check this is very easy, because we wanna verify that this is bad before we just replace it, and we don't wanna open up the parts can and start replacing parts that don't need to be. But if, the basic theory, if you're not familiar with electricity, is in one of the positions, when I engage this stop, it will make a connection across there inside this switch, and it will ground out the coil. So if you see on the meter, it says OL, that's just an open load. So it's like this. If I made connection, you can see it gives us an ohm value. Now what it's showing is it's 0.5 ohms, and that's just the resistance in the wires. So if the switch is bad, it'll act and it will say OL in both positions. So I'm going to touch each terminal. Okay, so we got an OL there. Now I'm going to engage the switch. The other position, and it says OL still. So that means that in any position, it's just like the switch was broken. So that's how you verify. This is just a single, it's a, I believe you call this a single pole, single throw switch. I have verified 100% that this switch is bad. So what I'm going to do is I am going to have to order this kill switch. And I still need to use the blower. So I will be using this blower. In fact, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go online or see if my dealer has this switch. The problem is that, let me pull this switch out again. The problem with this switch is there's no, it doesn't like it, there's any connector. So I'm going to have to probably replace the wires all the way to the switch, which I really don't want to do. So I think what I may do is when I get the new switch, I'm just going to cut these wires and use a splice connector, probably right here, so I don't have to replace the entire wires. Or I could unsolder them and solder them on the new switch. It just makes it a little easier without having to do a bunch of unnecessary work. I don't know, we'll see. I don't know how it comes. It probably comes as a whole unit. But yeah, we don't want this to come out. It's starting to twist. But anyway, that's pretty much the way you do it. So I will get back with you guys when we get ready to install the new switch. All right, so here we are a week later, and I was unable to get just the switch and the wire that goes with it. Echo offers this. I'm going to show this right here. If you need this part number, you can freeze it, the video, and look at it. But it's called a cable assembly control, or control cable assembly, and it comes with the throttle cable, the bullet wires, connectors, and of course the switch at the end. And I guess the reason they do that is because this, which looks like a wire loom, well it is, but it's not split. So I would have to have cut this or do what I was going to tell you guys. I was just going to unsolder the old one and put the new one in, but because this is like $33, and I didn't want to, you know, it's got a new throttle cable and it'll be a little smoother probably than this one. This one's a little stiff, but that's what we're going to be doing. And I'm going to go ahead and I will take this handle off like I showed you guys how to do before, and I'm not going to show that part, but what we will do is we will show how to disconnect the throttle and everything under here, and then reroute the cable. All right, so if you'll come to the side right here and get a 10mm wrench, and you're going to loosen this, is to put one on the back here, and then there's just enough room to get the second one here. Okay, and you want to just do this real gently, because you don't want to bend this plate. Grab this from the bottom like this and just pop the cable out. Okay, so the cable is loose now. All right, so I've got it's just a T27 and maybe a 4-inch extension, and I'm going to loosen this. And the reason that we're loosening this is because there is a wire loom holder right here that the wires that we're going to be replacing go through. So you do need to remove this. Okay, so right there. And then this will separate. And I'm going to, it should allow this to come down. All right, so now we have this down like that. Okay, there we go. All right, so at this point, we're here, we've got this disconnected, okay? All right, so I am gonna go ahead and loosen this Torx bolt here, just to see if I can get a little bit of movement. I'm just gonna loosen these at the top. And maybe this side right here. It should give you enough room to slide this out. Okay, so now we're out. And then I'm gonna take this clip right here. I'm gonna depress these two tabs. All right. So we've got this off. And then here's our new cable assembly. So what we need to do is we need to lift this out of here. You'll see the barrel here for this end of the cable, and then I'm just going to, with my fingers, pull this switch out. Okay. And there is a metal clip right here, right there, which it comes on the new one. It comes with that metal clip. Okay. So I'm going to pull this out of the cage. You may need to get a screwdriver to lift this up a little bit, but it'll come out. It just lifts out just like that. All right. And then your new one, okay, we'll pull this out a little bit. We're going to, we'll put this in first. There's a little, like a lip that goes in this groove right here. So put that down like that, okay. This will slide like this. We need to have this cable in here, so let me put it this way. Okay. And it just slides in like that. Alright. So it should go in like that. And there's little ridges that fit in the grooves so that the cable itself doesn't pull out. Alright, now we've gotten this far. Let's take our old one. Move that out of the way. There's the little bolt right here. Okay. gonna hold this up like this. This will go like that. Whoops. We don't want to lose a pin. That pin goes in the middle. And this right here drops down in there. These two wires, there's a tiny little groove right here, or I should say channel. Make sure that the wire that's right here, okay, make sure that this is on the right side. This is almost like a little clip. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna put this in like this first. That'll make it easier. There we go. Okay, so that should be like that. Make sure that pin's still there. I'm still holding on to this here. Now this little clip is soldered on, so don't think you've got a lot of slack to work with. There's enough. But so everything is in now. The only thing we have to do is you have to grab the throttle cable and put the end of the barrel in there. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay. All right. That looks good. Now I'm going to flip this over. I'm keeping pressure on this. I'm going to I'm going to run this up right here. I'm going to take these on this. Space them like that. That's not a lot of work with here. They need to be super tight. They need to be fairly snug, or you have a risk of the cable popping out as you're using it. And you'll find All right, that is a successful repair. So I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to make sure, I'm going to double check to make sure these nuts right here are tight. But everything's good. There's nothing that's going to chafe anywhere. So I'm very pleased with this. All right, guys. Well, hopefully that repair will help you if you ever need to do that on your Echo. This is the 4th Echo, either 8010 or 9010. Those use the exact same parts for that cable assembly, and I've never had one fail before. And this one, like I said earlier in the video, it's got almost 460 hours on it now. So that's it. I don't know how much, actually, I will tell you this, that this blower, as of 19 more days, is still under warranty. And you're gonna ask, well, why? Because my dealer, once I told him it was still under warranty, he said, well, just bring the blower in. And I'm like, I don't have time. Don't have time. So I paid the price. I paid for the part because they weren't the ones that were gonna fix it. But the reason that I did that is because it's fixed, it's done. We've got a huge leaf job to do Monday, and it's Friday right now. He said, oh, it'll just take a day. Well, it took me, literally, this takes about 10 minutes if I wasn't filming it. But I didn't want to take the chance of the blower not being ready. This is a really easy repair. I mean, it would have been free. The part would have been free, the labor, everything, but that's okay. because it's cheaper for me to get it fixed, and I know it's fixed and I have the blower available, than to not have it when I need it. So anyway, that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you on the next one.